Here we have my old trousers that I was using for my full dress. These are 100% wool pair of modern trousers that I modified. I did end up wearing them with my full dress back at 1920s themed New Year's Eve party. And they worked okay, but there were several issues that I had with these trousers. First of all, how they fit. These being a pair of modern trousers, it has a modern rise, which is relatively short. It's not very much. And as a result, the waistline on these fits like a modern pair of men's pants or jeans, whereas should have a higher waist. The waistband should go up to the natural waist around the belly button instead of the modern waist right above the hips. So these never really rode correctly. Ended up, barely covering the waistline with my vest, and had to put a lot of strain on them in order to keep them up because they wanted to ride lower, which ended up being an issue as when I was leaving the party, I ended up getting in my truck and they rode down on me, and I ended up tearing a giant hole in the leg. And then compounding that fact is that even though this is 100% wool material, it is super duper thin, very, very thin wool, almost too thin for. They're not really meant to last, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate part about today's fashion. And then in addition, I had to do a lot of modification to add suspender buttons and convert it to a button fly and whatnot. So another issue with the fit is that the legs were they're a modern leg and they're rather skinny. I have big legs, tree trunk, football lineman type legs. So while these fit, they were constricting, and wasn't very pleased with that. So in order to remedy most of these issues and the fact that I just completely ripped the crotch out in a way that it was right along the seam, it's in a way that I can't really repair it, I decided to get a new pair of trousers for my full dress. These are my replacement trousers. These are a pair of vintage wool tuxedo trousers. I'm not sure exactly how old they are. My guess is probably 70s or 80s. It does have a zipper front. These are pleated in the front instead of the flat front. I prefer the flat front. I'm not a big fan of pleated trousers, though full pleated trousers are not unknown for the late teens, early 20s. You see them in fashion plates. These come with suspender buttons. Not sure whether those were added at a later date or came original. I believe they're original because I don't see any stitching on the back. These do have a wider leg stripe. The legs themselves are much wider. And best of all, and more accurate, look how long the rise is. This is a very high rise, and the waistband reaches the natural waist. which for me is right around my belly button. And the fit with the peak vest and everything is much, much better. Really, the only thing I'm going to have to do, these are wool, 100% wool. The material is much, much thicker. These are a lot sturdier than the other more modern pair. The only modification that I'm going to have to do, because these already come with suspender buttons, is converting the fly from a zip fly to a button fly. And I'm planning on using material from the other pair of busted trousers along with the buttons to add a button fly to these trousers. And that, in a nutshell, is how I convert a zip fly into a button fly. So these trousers are now ready for wear with my full dress. One of the other issues that I ran into at the party was that on my coat, some of the almost 100-year-old seams, the thread in the seams started to give way. The material itself is still in good condition, but the old thread gave up the ghost, especially here in this shoulder seam. And then there's just a little spot here in the back seam. So I'm going to quickly go over those seams with my sewing machine and sturdy them up. And there we go, shoulder seam repaired, and that little spot in the back is repaired as well.